October 1st, 2017. Las Vegas, the city of neon lights and high stakes, was hosting 22,000 people at the Route 91 Harvest Music Festival. The night was a celebration of country music, headlined by superstar Jason Aldean. But high above the cheering crowd, in the shadows of the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Hotel, something unthinkable was taking shape. At 10:05 p.m., the music was suddenly punctuated by a sharp, rhythmic popping sound. Many thought it was fireworks until the screaming began. In a matter of seconds, the festive atmosphere turned into a kill zone. Bullets rained down from an elevated position with a terrifying rate of fire. For 11 harrowing minutes, history was rewritten in the most violent way possible. When the smoke cleared, 60 people were dead and over 850 others were injured, making this the deadliest mass shooting by a lone gunman in American history. But as the investigation began, the horror of the attack was only matched by the chilling mystery of the man behind it. A man who left no clues, no manifesto, and no clear reason why. To understand how this happened, we have to look at the methodical life of Stephen Paddock, a 64-year-old retired accountant and professional gambler. Paddock was not the typical profile of a mass killer. He was wealthy, earning over $2 million as a high roller who was treated as a VIP by the very casinos he would eventually haunt. He led an unremarkable life on the surface, but those who knew him described him as analytical, methodical, and deeply private. He was a man of numbers and strategy, a man who approached video poker with the same cold precision he would later use to plan a massacre. Paddock's preparation was as silent as it was extensive. Between October 2016 and September 2017, he amassed an arsenal of nearly 60 firearms, mostly rifles, without raising a single red flag. He researched SWAT tactics, windage, and bullet trajectories, and he scouted other open-air venues like Lollapalooza in Chicago before settling on his final target. On September 25th, he checked in to the Mandalay Bay, appearing to hotel staff as the lowest risk-type individual imaginable, just a middle-aged man with a lot of luggage. Over the next few days, Paddock methodically transported 21 suitcases into Suite 32-135, suitcases filled with 23 rifles and thousands of rounds of ammunition. He even booked an adjoining room to create a wider field of view over the festival grounds. He wasn't just staying in a hotel room, he was building a lethal observation post. To protect his position, he rigged a room service cart in the hallway with a hidden camera connected to a laptop so he could monitor the police from inside his suite. Back on the ground, at 10:05 p.m., the first shots rang out. Paddock had used a hammer to smash the heavy windows of his suite, creating a sniper's nest that overlooked the 22,000 unsuspecting fans below. He utilized bump stocks, devices that allowed his semi-automatic rifles to mimic the rapid fire of a machine gun. The crowd was trapped. People ran in every direction, not knowing where the rounds were coming from, while others used their own bodies as human shields to protect loved ones and strangers. The chaos wasn't confined to the plaza. Inside the hotel, the situation was escalating just as fast. Security guard Jesus Campos was checking a door alarm on the 32nd floor when he discovered a metal bracket had been screwed into a door to block the hallway. As he approached Paddock's suite, he heard what sounded like a drill. It was Paddock firing blindly through the hotel door. Campos was hit in the leg, but managed to radio for help, warning the police of an active shooter on his floor. His discovery likely saved countless lives by diverting the shooter's attention and alerting authorities to his exact location. Maintenance engineer Stephen Paddock arrived moments later and found himself pinned down as bullets whizzed past him in the hallway. He dived for cover while radioing a desperate message to first responders. "I reported an active shooter." Below, the police were met with an absolute carnage. Body camera footage captured the confusion as reports of multiple shooters at different hotels flooded the dispatch lines. Officers raced wounded victims to hospitals in their own patrol cars, while survivors performed chest compressions on the sidewalk. By 10:15 p.m., after firing over 1,000 rounds, the shooting stopped. For the next hour, a heavy silence hung over the 32nd floor. When the SWAT team finally reached the suite, they found the room service cart rigged with wires. Fearing a bomb, they proceeded with extreme caution. At 11:20 p.m., they used an explosive breach to blow open the door. Inside, the air was thick with the smell of gunpowder. Shell casings littered the floor, and an arsenal of weapons lay scattered across the beds. They found Stephen Paddock on the floor, dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. In the aftermath, the nation waited for an explanation, a manifesto, a reason for the madness. But as the FBI and local police dug into Paddock's life, they found a void. There was no evidence of radicalization, no political ideology, and no history of violence. Some pointed to his father, a notorious bank robber and diagnosed psychopath who was once on the FBI's most wanted list. Others noted that Paddock had lost nearly 75% of his wealth in the 2 years leading up to the attack, perhaps a final desperate gamble for notoriety. His brother Eric suggested a chilling possibility, that Paddock was simply bored, that he had done everything he wanted to do in life and decided that his final act would be to have the largest casualty count in history. But these are just theories. The truth died in Suite 32, 135. 7 years later, the site of the festival is a somber reminder of a night that changed America forever. There is a small memorial there, 58 white crosses for the lives taken that night, a number that has since grown to 60 as more victims succumbed to their injuries. The Las Vegas massacre remains a haunting enigma, a calculated act of evil committed by a man who seemed entirely ordinary. It forced a national reckoning on security, gun laws, and the terrifying reality of the lone wolf. But the most unsettling part of the story isn't the scale of the violence, it's the silence that followed. We will never know why he did it. And in the shadow of the Mandalay Bay, the question why remains the only thing louder than the gunfire. If this story shocked you, share this video, because remembering what happened in Las Vegas means remembering the lives behind the headlines. And if you want more deeply researched documentaries on the darkest events in modern history, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. One ordinary night, one ordinary man, and a mystery the world still can't explain.